right, lights, camera, action. We are ready to go once again. Good morning, good morning, good morning to everybody. Hope you guys are doing good today. It's a beautiful looking Thursday today, nice energy. Hope you guys are getting it done. Whatever it is, whatever it is. Shout out to everybody who's on the grind, on the road, making some moves, doing your thing, getting it done. Gotta say big up and hats off to you, yeah? Don't forget to give your best in all things, definitely. And to be your authentic self, most important. Most important. Share up the live, hit that share button so that other people can join in our discussion. Today we got a very interesting one. I got my guest in studio, Kiridi. Good morning.
Good morning. Did you miss me yesterday?
Miss is such a strong word.
I saw the topic and I was like,
I
wish I was here.
I did. I missed you. I missed you. Like 3.5 out of 10. How you doing though?
I'm good. So I wore my mint green hat for the people today. I hope you like it.
Mint green. I think that one is my favorite.
Yeah?
This one is my favorite. And it just blends in with the white and everything.
Yeah,
That one is my
I wore my best outfit for the peeps.
How many hats you said you had again?
30.
Wow, okay. Must be a task of keeping them. Is it?
Yes, you do have, particularly living in Grenada where the climate is hotter, you do have to really protect them. So yes, I take pride in that.
For sure. What did you do yesterday though? Because you weren't here, so I mean, I guess something was more important than being here, you know?
Sir, that is none of your business.
What? Okay. Yeah, well, at least you're here now. So, thank you so much for joining us. Let's see who's on the live. Linda is here. G-Eds is here. Marcus is here. Terrence is here. Gentlemen and... yes. I just love this. Terrence, you get the Nutmeg Award this morning. Good morning, gentlemen and problems.
So the ladies are problems in the ladies' room.
Well,
this
I mean,
is the ladies' room.
It's not no.
No, not while you're
Nope.
covering for Aruna, which I hope
Nope.
is very well rested.
When Aruna gets back, she can ladies' room it all she wants. Right now is good morning, gentlemen and problems.
Ay, ay, ay. So what's the topic today? What topic
right,
is going to be giving problems today?
I have a very simple question. Very, very, very simple question. And guys, don't forget that you can chime in on this as well. All right, so you can leave us your voice messages and your messages on WhatsApp. The number is 440-9595. You can call into the program as well. Or you can just feel free to chime in under the live and I'll definitely engage your comments, right? Here's what we want to talk about today. Ladies and fellas, or should I say gentlemen and problems alike. We want to hear from both sides. What would you do if you found out your current significant other? What would you do if you found out your current significant other or spouse was secretly financially helping their ex because he or she lost a job and was about to get evicted from their residence? How would you address the situation? Would it matter if they consulted you instead of hiding it? That's what we want to discuss today. I'll take it again. Gentlemen and problems alike. What would you do if you found out that your significant other or spouse was secretly financially assisting their ex who lost their job and was about to be evicted from their apartment or place of residence? Would it matter if they had told you versus keeping it a secret?
I want to weigh in here because I think the
The
biggest.
the floor is yours.
I feel like the biggest red flag, as we spoke about red flags on Monday, is you secretly found out. Why are you secretly finding out that? And why didn't your significant other come to you first about their financial challenges? There's a couple of issues here. Either there's something else going on. The other issue could be, why didn't they feel confident in coming to you first? And then what else don't you know? So I just feel like that should have been a conversation that they had with you first.
I mean, these are problems that men face every day, you know, on the topic of secrecy. I mean, why are women so secretive, Kirid?
That is such a general sweeping statement.
I mean,
If you said, I'm okay if you say why people are so secretive, but then
nah, women. I stick
you
with
and
that.
Terrence,
Why,
like,
why,
Precious said it, you and Terrence chose
why does
violence
everything
today.
have to be a secret with you guys?
No,
Tell
that's
us.
that's not the case. That's too much. I'm not even going to
You-
respond to that because that's too general. And I really like what someone said. There's a problem. I missed it. So the fact that your ex is still involved is a problem in itself, which I agree with.
So you believe in X is X. You move on, you move on.
Yeah, and then G saying helping in what capacity? So in a financial capacity, right?
Financially. Yeah.
But why do they need to still be involved? And the thing is, it's like, what is this ex a co-parent? Are you like trying to get divorced but not divorced yet, where you have financial ties? Like, okay, those are the gray areas, but let's just say this is an ex you
Yeah,
don't have that with.
No.
Okay, so let's just
done,
say
they finish
they're finished,
and they
no
reach out for help.
ties, no
Yeah.
co-parenting.
They just reach out for
Right.
financial assistance, lost a job, went into a rut, went into a hole, decided, I pick up the phone, call Mex, see what could work out.
I think that's going to cause problems in your relationship.
So you believe that X is X?
Yeah, leave the ex in the past. They were ex for a reason. And you know, some people can have an amicable relationship with their ex, right? Which is fine. And maybe they, you know, confide in them. Once you have a healthy relationship with your partner where that's okay, and that's fine. But financial challenges tend to be sensitive topics, and tend to be quite personal topics. So if you're still communicating that with your ex, then that's going to be a challenge for your current relationship.
But I mean, one could argue the Good Samaritan. You know, I mean, somebody's about to be evicted. You know, you don't want them on the streets because
Right.
next thing you don't help and they show up at your doorstep.
Why would they be doing that?
But that is the only place they have to go.
That's like a different topic.
You know?
So
But-
Gabby said, I can choose to help my ex once I'm using my and not my partner's money. And that's a fair point because it's your money. I think the part that's a bit tricky is like you're not sharing that or communicating that with your partner. So you're not being fully transparent. You're secretly doing it. Why would you have to secretly do it if you guys have a healthy enough relationship where you could say, hey, I'm helping them out. They're in a jam. I don't want to see them on the streets. I don't want to get them to get evicted, and I'm going to do this.
So the
Right?
conversation is important.
Yeah.
But listen, some people so touchy-feely, yeah? The minute time you come and say that, you know, from the time you utter the words, my ex said, blah, 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 blah. First question you're getting, off the bat, why are you still talking to your ex? I thought you told me you would never speak to your ex again. I thought you told me you block your ex. I thought you told me your ex don't have your number. How come he reach you?
I mean, then maybe that partner's a little insecure if like they feel that way, or maybe there's more to the story. Because I feel like you're adults. If you have a history with that person, it doesn't just go away, but then it's how you engage with them. So if you're engaging with them in ways that are inappropriate, then your current partner is going to be concerned. But if you're just engaging with them in a way that is, you know, just on a human level, why do they have all these questions? that means they're not secure in the relationship.
Listen, for most people I know, it ain't have no engaging with X on no human level, no type of level. We done and that is it. Story done, finish.
Marcus is your friend. They are called X for a reason.
Linda said, I'm all for helping. However, it depends on how the relationship with the ex ended. Also, my significant other should discuss it with me first. Also, what is going on with them? And is that money coming from our joint accounts? If we have one. How long is this financial situation for? And is it a one-time thing? And you know, I actually had that thought because somebody said they don't mind helping if it's their money. But what if it's a situation where it's we money?
That is the challenge, because then if you're not talking about it and you're taking the money from the joint account, you're asking for problems.
Because imagine I strolling through and, you know, I get a little notification from the bank, you know, $1,500 has been withdrawn from your account. You know, and I come and I say, oh, well, wait, what really going on here, boy? Very funny, babe. What going on? See, you have 1,500 come out there, like, you buy 2 couch setter. You got to be, you know? Or you book us a trip to Paris. Babe, well, Tony called me and Tony said, you know, he lost his job and he was going to be on the street and thing. And who's Tony again? Baby, you know Tony, man. Who is Tony? Baby, you don't remember Tony? I used to tell you about him. Who is Tony? Babe, my ex. How you really think that situation going down? Okay.
First of all, why isn't Tony going to somebody else?
Okay.
But at least she said to her ex. No, at least she said to her current partner, "Oh, this is what happened."
Wait. After the fact.
Oh, after the fact. Okay, then the money
Because
spent.
I already get the notification that you made the withdrawal.
Oh.
So that is after the fact. You understand? I am now withdrawing the information from you.
After the evidence.
It didn't come to me with a willing heart and mind, you know, because women are secretive.
Well, the joint account should be used for joint affairs. So yes, she was wrong in that regard.
Yes. Because your ex problem is not our joint affairs. No
Exactly.
Time. No time. If there's kids involved, I don't mind helping, but the secret part is not acceptable. This is something that should be discussed. Yeah. If there's kids and stuff involved, then, you know, I mean, in a relationship, you know what you're getting into. So you know if there's kids, whatever, you know, they were a family before, and now he has to continue supporting his kids, whatever. But if it's just a situation, this situation is none of that. It's just an ex, pick up the phone, and asking you for money. That's it. Full stop.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like, okay, ideally, in an ideal situation, particularly if you're in a current relationship, it feels like, you know, just try and focus on where you are right now with your partner, and anything coming in from the past that can like disrupt that is a risk. And if you're willing to take that risk, I think the best approach would be to openly communicate it, not be secretive about it. And that's where I stand on that.
Wait. So Gabby says, my ex is my best friend. I need to digest. My ex is my best friend. I will do anything for him except coitus and relationship. But I'm not dumb enough to say that to my husband. Well, I hope the husband not there on the line because I really hope our husband busy right now. She said her ex is her best friend.
But at least she's being honest. Like, at least she's putting her cards on the table and saying,
I never hear that yet. Your
but
ex is your best friend?
Well, she had a past with that person. Maybe they still have an amicable relationship. And also, ex could be someone years ago. Like, your first love or someone when you were in your
What,
early.
that primary school thing?
Yeah, so
Oh
like
gosh, nah man, nah man, nah man, nah man, nah man,
no,
nah
but
man, nah man.
not primary school. It
I
could
started-
be a
I
little bit
start-
older.
I started counting exes from age 25.
Okay, so it could be when you were like maybe in your early 20s, let's say, and let's say you're more mature now, and that person is you're cool with them. Like nothing went wrong, you didn't have a negative ending, and you guys are cool, and they ask for help. So in a way, they're in the like ex/friend category, but
Creed.
I still stand on the fact that you should just put your cards on the table.
In no ex/friend. In a that. I'ma break
You're
it
really
up.
all or nothing, aren't you?
Is either your ex, your current, your friend, your an acquaintance, or your side.
Me, so
Those are the categories.
those are the categories.
Slash. In a that.
forward
in a-
slash.
In a that.
Nissy and me, Nissy is like, why hide? If there's nothing going on between them, why hide it from me? One lie or secret raises questions about everything else, which is what I said in the beginning. Like, if you go down that rabbit hole, or if you feel like you have to lie, there's some other deeper issue that needs addressing.
But I mean, did you really lie, or did you just withhold some information that was not questioned or brought up or discussed? Or I mean,
Withhold information? Is that the term we're using for lie now?
yeah. I mean, it you weren't asked about it, right? You weren't asked about it. It wasn't discussed. You know, it just didn't come up. So
No,
are
that's
we
still
really
shady.
gonna call it lie?
That's still shady.
Shady and lie is two different things.
And withhold information. So
No, that's three different things. You could be a shady guy,
shady?
a withholder, or a liar. That's three different things.
How are those three different things? Break it down.
I mean, if you're shady, you just operate in the gray. If you're a withholder, you just don't give out information that is not brought up or is not asked. You keep to yourself, and you just hold on to your to pertinent information, and you just give out what is necessary. Lying is lying. That's three different
So
things.
that's man's logic?
That's three different things. You could trace this back to the days of Aristotle and Plato and these guys and them. So, are we
yeah.
really gonna call it lie? That is what I want to know. You did not make your partner aware that you would be assisting financially. So, are we really gonna call it lie?
I think it is. And also there's can I go on to the other dilemma from a listener, which kind of ties into the whole financial aspect. Do you mind if we go there?
Mm-hmm.
So I really like this topic, and I hope people joining. So it says the listener wants to monetize her makeup skills, but her man says just get a real job. And I'm like, why isn't her man being supportive of the fact that she has a passion, maybe she has a skill, and she wants to monetize
hold
it?
that thought. Power 95, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Hi. I was just like signing into WeChat and it said dial, so I didn't know it would have dial.
Ah, you didn't know I would have went straight to the program.
No. What is?
Gotcha. Okay, but since you're here,
Uh-huh.
let's have you chime in. Since you're already here, so welcome to the ladies' room. You're live, right? Here's the dilemma, right? And I want you to weigh in on this.
Uh-huh.
Is it okay for you to financially assist your ex-partner while still withholding that information from your current partner?
I don't think it is, because I find once you're in a relationship with someone, you should be supporting your current partner. Why are you still taking care of your ex?
Okay, but there's a situation where, your ex lost their job, they got kicked out of the apartment, no food in the fridge, they don't have the necessary things to continue. They don't have nowhere else to turn. So he turned to you.
Well, I feel it's based on how the relationship was and how it ended, depending on their, situation with each other. I know each relationship is unique, but if I find you should tell your partner if that's what's going on.
You should tell your partner, right?
Yeah.
But what if you tell your partner and then he comes and he's like, well, why are you in contact with your ex in the first place?
Mhm.
I
That
mean,
is
what's your response there?
again, each relationship is unique, so it depends on how you think your partner would react to that sort of information, or you know, if they're gonna, say, okay, fine, you could help him once, that's all you're doing. It's fine. It really depends on how they are as a person.
Gotcha. But it's definitely something you think should be discussed, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Room and call in because that's exactly what I said.
Hmm?
That's exactly what I said.
I still stuck on one thing. Lie, shady, and withholding. But I guess we could talk about that after. But I stuck there. Lying, shadiness, and withholding.
And Linda has come in as the voice of reason. That is why you save for a rainy day. Losing your job or being kicked out of your place is a rainy day. So your ex, and if your ex comes to you, maybe you can give them that advice. Like, what is your savings plan? Like, how are you budgeting? How did this happen? How can I steer you to the best financial advice without going into your joint account or your account? Because what if it happens again? So, I mean, they must be in a really bad situation if they have to call their ex, because I'm sure not everybody wants to do that.
Yeah.
But I think, as Linda so rightly put, the best advice is to be on top of your finances.
Good morning to Gordon. Gordon says, whenever you have a new man or a new husband, you should never lend your ex money. Ex is ex. There's actually a song from Terra the Governor, I should pull up that in a minute. Linda says, be honest. Being honest is the best route. Talk about it first. Doing it secretly is a major issue. She or he is your ex. Why is that person entitled to your money?
Our money.
Our money.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with the talk about it part, I definitely agree with that part. Let me take some comments from the WhatsApp. I will only help if my partner is okay with it. I am not putting my relationship at risk for no ex. We broke up for a reason.
Exactly.
Someone says I live abroad and one of my ex have a really great friendship with me and do all my business for me in Grenada with no problem. Once there is respect, I can see why not be friends. I will help if we have kids together, but I will be open about it, and it's my money. So it's my money. I can do what I feel like with it. All right. Run that second
dilemma.
Run that by us again.
Okay. So a listener's dilemma here. The listener wants to monetize her makeup skills, but her man says, just get a real job. What say you, Kareem? I want to hear your thoughts on this first.
So she wants to monetize her makeup business.
Yes.
And her man says, get a real job.
Yes.
I am all for entrepreneurship, right? I watch a lot of documentaries and podcasts and so on. And I mean, you don't get to the stage in life where you want to be by working for somebody. It's just not the way, of course, everybody needs a start and whatnot, you know. I mean, teach his own. If you, you know, find yourself in a company that is loyal, treat you like family and all of that, then I mean, why not, you know? I know some people who would stay in a company for 25, 30 years. Some guys are in the police force for 40 years, you know what I mean? So teach his own, but me personally, I am all for enhancing yourself, your brand. There must be some idea or some skill or so that you would like to capitalize on, you know. One thing I hate is the small-minded mentality where if my friend is selling burger, I'm gonna go sell burger, you know. That part I don't like. I believe that there's enough room in different sectors and industries and so on, and there's a lot of room for new ideas and stuff. I just believe like people are scared. You know, everybody is scared of that start because you usually hear, oh, the startup is the hardest. It's true. That's the time when you really need to persevere and give it your sweat, blood, and tears, you know? But it's not impossible.
It's not impossible. And this is why
I would definitely, you know, hats off to her for wanting to, you know, maybe expand, maybe grow the business, whatever, enhance her skills. No, as a partner, it's very important that you be that support to that person who wants to start a business because they value your opinion so much. You know, they're about to take a risk and they want to know, what do you think? How do you feel? Whatever. And there are ways to give your opinion without shutting people down. Telling her to go get a job has just shut her down.
Yeah, and this is like, I can't believe it, but I'm agreeing with Terrence, who called us problems. He said she needs to get a new man. But on a serious note, the part of it that doesn't sit well with me is he said get a real job, as if becoming a makeup artist is not a real job. And as a fellow creative, I would say that is nonsense. Being a makeup artist is a viable career path. And if she chose to go to her partner and say, I'm thinking of, you know, like, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I love doing. This is what makes me happy. I'm thinking about doing this, and he shuts her down, then she's not getting the support she needs in her relationship with someone that she probably trusted to share that.
However, there's another side to this.
What is that?
And listen to this, right? Now, if the person is already employed, and comes to me and says, hey, I want to start a business, or I want to, you know, I do this part-time, I want to go into full-time, whatnot. What I would say is, don't quit the job today or tomorrow.
Yeah, don't
what
rush
you
it.
need to do is to ensure that you build a base so that the early stage of your business can be funded by you.
Yes.
Or perhaps maybe you can
sustain
what you have
yourself.
to get a loan or whatever it is, right? So that'll be my take on it. I will definitely tell you hands down, if you're employed and you want to start a business, ensure that your base is there because you are going to need it.
Exactly.
However, if you're not employed and you have a business idea and whatnot, then go for it. Go get a real job. That's crazy.
I think we should give her some practical advice. So she's clearly not getting it at home or in her relationship. So I'm going to share some practical advice as well. That was great advice. I think the second bit of advice is for people thinking about, is this a sustainable business model? Like, can I make money as a makeup artist? Can I do it full time? There are some amazing OGs in our Grenadian market already. People like Shelly, people like Tani, people like Christina, and there's so many more. And they understand the market. The market has changed. Women are investing in doing their makeup more. They're doing like block bookings, which means that you can like financially plan with that. There's all different types of makeup. There's bridal makeup. There's makeup for fashion. There's makeup for just, you know, lifestyle where women are going to events and they want their makeup done, or for special occasions. So like, I think the first thing is to understand the market, speak to some people who are already working within that industry so you can get some practical advice. And then you can go to places like GIDC, or you can go to get some more business advice at GIDC. And if you decide to set up, register your business, register with Inland Revenue, register with NIS, and then build your customer base. Or learn more about your potential customer base. How often do they spend on their makeup? So like there's all these things and this research that you can do. And if someone's not giving you the practical advice when you share that with them and they're just shutting you down, then seek it in other places.
That is a problem. That is a problem.
Yeah.
Yep. You only do such a thing when you are when you're married and want to invest in each other. Gabby says, but not everyone is disciplined enough to be an entrepreneur. It's true, but
It's true.
I mean, as a partner, Gabby, you still need to perhaps give them some practical advice or steer them in the right direction. But shutting down somebody like that, man, they are never going to try anything in their life ever again because of that one experience, So it's never good to, just stomp on their growth and progress like that. There are ways to get the message across.
Unisi said, woman, your man is an enemy of progress. And that's what I was going to say, actually. I was going to say, like, it takes a lot to open up about a vision or idea you have or a passion that you want to fulfill. And I think you have to possess that self-belief first. So if anyone says anything negative, like, oh, that's not a real job, you have enough willpower to shut that down. So, lady, do your thing. Like, speak to some of the amazing women already doing makeup in our industry to get some practical advice.
And come in tongue and find our best man.
Like you?
Well, I mean, speaks for itself. Guys, ladies' room, of course, powered up by Nirvana, Beacon Insurance, Western Union, and Harry Edward Jewelers. Creed, thank you so much for joining us this week. And of course, thank you so much to the business partners as well for making it happen right here on Power 95. We're going to be back again on Monday. But in the meantime, got to keep it locked on the power, yeah? Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.